सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। Hari Om, salutations to all. Sri Ramakrishna Paramhamsa used to give a very nice story. So once there is a village and lots of people stay in that village, and they have a tradition that every evening after they finish their work, they all gather in one open place where there is a stage, and they all sit there and they do some recreation, some entertainment happens. So one evening, one farmer finished his work, had his dinner. He rolled up a mat, tucked it below his arms, went there, and he found that he reached about 20 minutes early. So he thought, let me have a quick nap. So he spread the mat and he went to sleep. And when he woke up, he found that the whole play drama was over. So again he rolled up his mat, tucked it below his arms, and he came back. That's the story. So what did you learn from this story? To be in time, don't reach early. Okay. To be alert. An entire lifetime can pass. Not only an entire lifetime, many lifetimes have already passed without ever being awake. Drama of life is happening. One is going through that also. Still one is not awake to the truth. There is a phenomenon called somnambulism. Somnambulism means sleepwalking. So what we go through in life is called sleepwalking. Why? Because in that somnambulism, the person forgets oneself. One is doing things also, one will not remember. Later on you ask them, they will not know. Acha, this is what I did at night. Same way, whole life is passing by without us knowing what the truth is, and various things we go through. And so the masters, they tell us ki the purpose of human life is to realize, who am I? What is truly my nature? Kenopanishad says, iha cheda vedit atha satyam asti. If one has come to know here, then that is good. Life has been worth, human body has been utilized well. Na chediha avedit mahati vinashti. If I don't know the truth here and now, then great is the loss. See, vinashti. So nashti means loss. Vinashti means loss beyond recovery. And mahati vinashti meaning great loss which can't be recovered again. So human life is very precious. Why? What is so unique about human life? We have intellect. Even the animals have intellect actually. Judgment. Animal also does judgment. Decision making power animal also has, na? Whether to run, whether to engage, whether to eat, not eat. Decision making they also do. Purusharth. Okay. So that is one aspect. One has Purushartha Kshamata. One can put in the effort in the present. One can choose. But one very important thing that we have is Sukshma Vivek. See, Vivek is there even in the animal. But Sthula Vivek is there. What to eat, what not to eat, who is a friend, who is a foe, all that Vivek they will also do. But they will do it instinctively. Our capacity as a human is what? To do Sukshma Vivek, the subtle forms of Vivek. And that Sukshma Vivek has two aspects. One is called Dharma Vivek, and other is called Brahma Vivek. Two types of Vivek. This the animal cannot do. Does animal have a moral dilemma? No. Animal will not have a moral dilemma ki this is right or this is wrong. A tiger does not feel ki I am killing the deer, it is wrong. That is its natural prey. It has to eat that, otherwise it will die. So what is dharma, what is adharma, what is right, what is wrong? So that dharma and adharma vivek one can do. Then one can also do sadhan and sadhya vivek. Then what is sadhan sadhya vivek? Goal and the means. What is the means and what is the goal? Many times that confusion one has. Suppose I ask you, what is wealth? Is it sadhan or sadhya? Wealth is sadhan. Good, correct answer. Wealth is partially correct answer. Wealth is sadhan in the satsang, sadhya outside satsang. Artha is like that. Kama, is it sadhan or sadhya? Again, same answer. Kama also is sadhan in the satsang, but outside satsang, kama only is the sadhya. Finally, everybody wants maja only. That's why you ask Gujarati kemcho, maja ma. Suppose the food is not good here, what will happen to you? Suppose this weather which is so nice and pleasant, suddenly it becomes absolutely hot, unbearable. Then what will happen? The mind will get disturbed. So our mind makes the sadhan into sadhya and sadhya into sadhan. Bhagavan is sadhan or sadhya? Bhagavan is supposed to be sadhya, but Bhagavan becomes the sadhan. Bhagavan, bless me with one child. Bhagavan, get me promotion. Bhagavan, bring me this, bring me that. And what will we offer in return? One coconut. So sadhan and sadhya, Vivek one doesn't have. One makes sadhan into sadhya. See, this is, at the moment we are just talking in simple terms, but when we go deep into this is the cause of sorrow also in life. How many young people are into drugs, into depression, into suicidal tendencies because sadhan has become sadhya. Certain percentage one has not got, what happens? Land up into this. Some admission in some university one did not get, land up into this. Some heartbreak in one relationship, one lands up into this. So, Sadhan sadhya vivek one has to be able to do. Ki what is my sadhya? And as a sadhak, both these are very, very important. What? First of all, sadhya nishtha is important. What is sadhya nishtha? Ki what is my goal of life? Gurudev always said goals in life and goal of life. Goals in life, artha, kama, dharma, they can become goals in life. But what is the goal of life? Is to realize the truth, gaining which nothing more remains to be gained. That is the goal of life. And again, when we say goal of life, it doesn't mean after we finish achieving all the goals in life, then I will strive for goal of life. No. In and through the goals in life, I am striving to attain the goal of life. In and through my work, my life as a grahasthi, whatever my duties are, I do it in such a way that I purify my mind and realize the truth. It is not that I finish all this and after that I will renounce all this, then I will come to know the truth. In that sense, it is not the goal of life which is last. In and through goals in life, I am pursuing that goal of life. If that nishtha is clear that I am a sadhak whose sadhya is param ananda prapti and atyantika dukkha nivritti. This sadhya nishtha is what makes me sadhak, first point. Who is a sadhak? A sadhak is one who has sadhya nishtha and sadhana nishtha, both. If sadhya nishtha only is not there, I may say I am a sadhak, but I won't be a sadhak 24/7. I will be a sadhak only for some time. If I understand that the sadhya is that which requires me to be free from ego at all times, then I am living as a sadhak. I will eat as a sadhak, I will talk as a sadhak, I will walk as a sadhak, I will sleep as a sadhak. Everything I will do is as a sadhak, not as a bhogi, but as a yogi. One who is trying to unite the mind to the self, that is the sadhak, whose nishtha is very clear, ki this is why I am come here. I came on this earth to know this truth. Various roles and responsibilities I have, in and through that I will know the truth. I don't have to run away from them. All our gods, they are grahasthas or not. Shivji also has a parivar. Vishnu Bhagavan has, Ganesh ji has, everybody has. So, one is sadhya nishtha and second is sadhana nishtha. What is sadhana nishtha? Ki what is my means which I want to follow and stay steadfast in that. Don't dilly-dally. We may try different paths if we don't know what is our path. But once we come to the path, then stay focused on that path. It may be Karma Yoga, it may be Raja Yoga, it may be Jnana Yoga, it may be Bhakti Yoga, whatever may be my path. It may be some of the combinations also, but predominantly one path will be there. Even in that path, some sadhana one has to be anchored in. Suppose Bhakti Yoga I say. Then mantra japa if one is doing, be focused using one mantra. Why? Because mind has to become single pointed. The purpose of japa is to make the mind single pointed. In that only I am going to do one mantra today, another mantra tomorrow, 4 months later, another mantra. What is the point? Or some people will do simultaneously 5 mantras. Mrityunjay mantra for health, Gayatri mantra for brilliance, Lakshmi mantra to get wealth. Like that, some Shani mantra to avoid Graha dosha. Then Ganapati mantra to remove obstacles. So one will say, Swamiji, I am doing Gam Ganapataye Namaha, 1 mala, 2 malas of Gayatri, 5 malas of Mrityunjay. Arey, kyun kar rahe ho bhai? Means you think that these are departments? That Ganeshji only removes obstacle and Lakshmi Devi can only give wealth. She cannot help you to remove obstacles. We are praying to Bhagavan, who is supreme, who can bless us with everything. So one mantra, Our Sanatan Dharma says one mantra is Ishta mantra and one mantra Gayatri. That's it. Beyond that, no need of doing japa of specifically on an occasion for somebody we want to do or for a specific purpose we are doing. That's a different point. But in my regular sadhana, one mantra, that is sadhana nishtha. Tell me any great Mahatma who has done more than one mantra simultaneously. You won't find. Gurudev did the japa of Om Namah Shivaya. Samarth Ramdas did japa of Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Mirabai, she used to keep on chanting about Krishna. Mere to Giridhar Gopal, dusro na koi. One Ishta Devata one should choose and one mantra, very important. Then sadhan nishtha. That doesn't mean I don't respect any other forms. We see everybody as appearance of one. But our nishtha is in one form. So this is one example I gave for mantra. But it can also be some other sadhana. Suppose I am doing nididhyasan, contemplation. Then steadily every day I sit and do contemplation. If I am doing puja regularly, then that nishtha is there, puja. One day I do puja, another day I do bhajan, third day I do japa, fourth day I do contemplation, fifth day I go somewhere and learn chakra meditation, sixth day I do some pyramid meditation. Arey bhai sahab. Kyun? If you are in exploring phase, you do, but after that you choose one. If that is not done, then the mind will not find single pointedness. Then one will say, sadhana mein maja nahi aaya. That is because I didn't have sadhana nishtha. I am jumping. And one weird thing people do is what? They will say, Swami ji, अंदर से जो आ रहा है ना मैं वो कर रही हूँ. अंदर से तो बहुत कुछ आता है. सब कुछ करोगे क्या? अंदर से ही काम क्रोध लोभ मोह मद भी आता है. But what is the point? Choose one and then stick to that. So that is why sadhan sadhya vivek has to happen. So first is dharma vivek, second is sadhan sadhya vivek, third is amsha amshi vivek. Amsha amshi meaning part and the whole. What is the part and what is the whole? The qualities of the whole are there always in the part. Are we part of Bhagavan? Advaita Vedanta सीखने के बाद भी our mind still feels at some point कि I am a part of Bhagavan. I will merge with Bhagavan. मेरी आत्मा परमात्मा से मिल जाएगी. Because that nididhyasana and reflection has not happened enough. So I still feel I am a part. Bhagavan is the whole and I will merge. No. If I think I am a jiva, then I am a part, Bhagavan is the whole. But am I jiva? Naham jiva param brahmeti. I am not the jiva, I am parabrahma. That is what Vedanta is saying. This adhyasa, this is called adhyasa. To think of myself as the body and to think of myself as the jiva is called adhyasa. And this portion we are going to see, it ends, many of the verses end with Swadhyasa apanayam kuru. Destroy this adhyasa, apanayam, negate adhyasa, this false notion. I am not the body, I am not the jiva. When Hanumanji was asked, what is your relationship with Bhagavan Ram? What did he reply? Deha buddhya dasosmi. At the level of body, I am your servant, you are the master. Jiva buddhya tvad amshaha. At the level of jiva, I am an amsha and you are the amshi. But atma buddhya tvamevaham. At the level of the spirit or the Satchidananda Parabrahma Tattva, you and I are one. That is called Amsha Amshi Vivek, very clear. So, this Vivek is very important to do, and that is what human life speciality is, that I can do this Vivek. And through this only I speed up the evolution. Otherwise, naturally, it will take millions of years to come to realize the truth. So there are many such Vivekas. I'll just take one more and I will stop for this Dharma Vivek category. And that is Sukha and Dukkha. Sukha and Dukkha Vivek meaning where there is Sukha, the mind will go there. And where there is Dukkha, mind will go away from there. Now the challenge is what? Our mind thinks Sukha is in samsara. And satsang or withdrawing from samsara is what? Dukkha. Today morning to come here, Sukha or Dukkha? Technically right answer is Sukha. सुबह सुबह इतनी ठंडी में उठा के बिठा दिए यहाँ पे 7 बजे हमको. These sadhus, they don't sleep, they don't allow us to sleep also. 6:15 को चाय कौन पीता है भाई? 6:15 is the time to sleep. और nice कोहरा है सब जगह पे, so good. Swamiji, why can't the session start from 8 o'clock after breakfast? Because the mind wants sleep. So getting up early is dukkha. But if one understands that no, sleep early, wake up early, this is the best for me, go by the cycle of the sun, all that, then the conditioning has changed. Then getting up early is sukha and keeping up till late is dukkha. So sukha dukkha vivek one has to do. And last one here is Shreyas and Preyas. What is Shreyas and Preyas? Good and pleasant. What is good can be pleasant also. Not that what is good cannot be pleasant. People think what is good will always be painful. No, no, no. There can be good and pleasant also. And that choices are the best ones. But what is always pleasant need not be good for us. 2 inches of the tongue. No taste before that, no taste below that. But only that 2 inches of the tongue to satisfy how much one does and then pays with the consequences of the health. I can't taste sugar before this, I can't taste sugar below this. This much distance only it has to cover, the food. But addiction to sugar, aha. कुछ मीठा हो जाए, खाने के बाद मीठा चाहिए. खाने के बाद मीठा क्यों चाहिए? Because there's not enough protein in my food. So मीठा चाहिए, sugar चाहिए. So the point is, what is pleasant and then I engage in that need not be good. And what is good sometimes doesn't appear to be pleasant. So this Vivek animal cannot do. Shreyas, Preyas, Sukha, Dukkha, Amsha, Amshi, all this Vivek the animal cannot do. Only human beings can do. And if I do this Vivek, then I am ready to do Brahma Vivek. If I don't do this Vivek, then Brahma Vivek cannot happen. First of all, what is the meaning of Vivek? Discrimination or separation. When is separation required? When two things have got mixed up. Then I need to separate. Rice and stones. When we were children, there used to be that job. When the market one goes and brings the rice, we used to sit and remove. Now everything comes cleaned and packed and everything. So children don't know. हम बच्चे थे तो निकाल के. So we used to learn कि अच्छा बैठ जाओ, निकालो. So rice and stone, milk and water. Rice and stone very easy to separate because they are distinct. This milk and water are similar. Until one drinks, one will not know. Sometimes one will, pour it from one glass to another, then one may realize, अच्छा ये तो बहुत पानी वाला है. But the third one is where we don't even know that there are two. Atma and Anatma have got mixed up. One doesn't know only. Till one comes to Vedanta, one doesn't know that there is something called Anatma. Atma one may know still. What notion of Atma one has, that is a different point. Atma word one has heard. One will say, इनकी आत्मा चली गई. Or one will say, Bhoot Atma, Pret Atma, Bhatakti Atma, Latakti Atma, all that. You must have, when some sees, some horror movie, some serial, something, so and one thinks कि वो आत्मा तो हमेशा, ये आत्मा is always weird, वो हमेशा जमीन से ऊपर ही होती है. उसके पैर जमीन में नहीं होते. पैर जमीन पर नहीं है मतलब ये भूत है, और पैर ऐसे हो गए मतलब चुड़ैल है. All kinds of weird stuff one has read or seen. So one thinks कि अच्छा आत्मा is there, but what is the nature of that atma one doesn't know. But this is anatma that nobody told us. That only Vedanta tells us कि this BMI, what you are thinking of yourself, this is not you. That who tells? Nobody tells. So till one comes to Vedanta, and first time when one listens in Vedanta कि you are not this body, mind, intellect, you are Brahman, and this world is not real, we definitely think ये जो बोल रहे हैं ना उसने कुछ अच्छा से फूंक के रखा हुआ है. What is this fellow saying? World is not real. First time one will always doubt the sanity of the speaker. After that one will start thinking कि अच्छा इसका लॉजिक है. Okay, धीरे धीरे it will sink in. Because we have been conditioned to think I am the body, mind, intellect. What is this? How can I not be this? So, this separation is very important. What is Atma and what is Anatma? That only human life one can do. That's why Brahma Vivek is required. So, as we saw different types of Dharma Vivek, different types of Brahma Vivek are what? First and foremost is simple, what we say Nitya and Anitya. What is temporary and what is permanent? Everything in this world is temporary. That is our experience. But there is something permanent that we don't know. Vedanta has to point that out to us here. What is permanent? The observer is always there. That is a sakshi. That is permanent. Logic has to be given. If there is a change, then there has to be a changeless substratum. If the train is moving so fast, bullet train, then what is changeless? The track. If the track also is changing, the train also is changing, how? It will not work. So if there is a change, that itself is the proof that there is something which is changeless. What is that changeless is what I have to discover. So Nitya Anitya Vivek, in the world, what is changeless is what we call as Brahman, the substratum of the world. Like this screen which is here. The picture can keep changing, but that screen is changeless. Same way, everything is perishable in the world, but the substratum is consciousness, Brahman. Today, quantum physics is saying matter is not the basis of the whole creation, it is quantum consciousness. So, in the world, that is changeless. In us, what is changeless? Is the observer, Sakshi. Body goes through changes. Childhood, teenage, youth, adulthood, all that. Mind goes through changes every minute. Why minute? Every second almost. Continuously changing. Intellect goes through changes. So who is observing this? That is I. So in me there is one changeless. And that I have to know Atma and Anatma. What is Atma and what is Anatma? Today I am thinking I am this. So Atma word literally means what? I. Aham. So I am that changeless Sakshi. I am not the changing BMI. That BMI is Anatma. This Vivek has to happen very clearly. And what is the nature of that? So third is Jada and Chetan Vivek. What is Jada and Chetan? I am thinking right now this body only is by itself functioning. Thoughts arise on their own. Emotions come by themselves. We think this is mechanism inbuilt. But one doesn't realize that the power comes from somewhere else. The torch doesn't have light on its own. It needs the Battery. The one is thinking, nahi, torch mein hai apne aap. No, what is the battery that is enlivening this? So that is Jada is the equipment, BMI. Chetan is consciousness. Now that one doesn't know. So that which is Nitya, that which is Atma, that which is Chetan, that is me. And that which is Anitya, that which is Anatma, that which is Jada, that is not me. This Brahma Vivek has to happen. So Vivekachoodamani is meant for this, to separate what we have mixed up. And where have we mixed up? In our thinking. So to separate means what? It is not literally कि इसमें से आत्मा को निकाल के देखो ये आत्मा है. No, there is no physical separation. The wrong notion is in my head. It is a misunderstanding that I have. That's why he said very nicely, our Vidyaranya Swamiji, he said, avichara krito bandha vicharena nivartate. The bondage caused by lack of right thinking, avichara krito bandha, how will it get removed? Vicharena nivartate. Through right thinking it will be removed. That's why jnanam is so important. Knowledge is very, very important. And in Vedanta we say, jnanenaiva tu kaivalyam. Only through knowledge there is liberation. There is no other way of liberation. Everything else is a means to purify the mind to gain the right knowledge. Because I don't have to produce the Atma, I don't have to create it. It is not anywhere I have to go. I have to just recognize. Recognize means what? Recognize. That's all. This mala is already in my neck. If I don't know that this is on my neck and I think it is lost, now I am searching everywhere. Any amount of action I do, will I get the mala? It is already there. Somebody has to only tell me what. Stop looking outside, it is already with you. Then I recognize, acha, it is here. So now, this is what one has to do. This, what Vivekachoodamani does is this, to give us the clarity of Atma, Anatma, what is Bandhan, what is Moksha. So in this text, Shankaracharya ji has put up the whole nice scenario of the student going to the teacher and asking 7 questions. Ko nama bandha kathamesha agataha katham pratisthasya katham vimokshaha ko savanatma paramakka atma tayor viveka kathameta duchyatam. What is bondage? Ko nama bandha. Ko nama bandha kathamesha agata. From where has it come? Katham pratisthasya. What is its, how is it strengthened, or how does it stay established strongly? Katham vimoksha. How to be free from that? Ko asau atma. Ko asau anatma paramakka atma. What is the not self and what is the self? And tayor viveka. Please tell me the separation of these two. Now in this, the student, and when he has asked the question, so before that, the student's qualifications. What are the qualifications of a student in Vedanta? Sadhan Chatushtay. What are they? 4 of them. Vivek, Vairagya, Shatka Sampatti and Mumukshutvam. These are Sadhan Chatushtay. Sadhana, Shatka Sampatti and Mumukshutvam. 4 qualifications. And what is the qualification of a teacher? Shrotriya and Brahmanishtha. The teacher must be established in the truth and well versed in the scripture. If I can't find a teacher who is Brahmanishtha, at least a Shrotriya, somebody who is well versed in the Shastra and scriptures and is saying what is time tested knowledge, not giving one's own philosophy. So, such a student has gone to a teacher, asked these questions, and the teacher has given various, the answers to these 7 questions. And at the end of it, the student also realizes the truth. Teacher goes his way, student goes his way. That's the whole text in general. The portion we are going to do is called Swadhyasa Apanayam Kuru. So many of these words, many of these shlokas will end with this expression. Swa Adhyasa Apanayam Kuru. One's own superimposition, Adhyasa. So Vedant follows this method. What is the methodology of Vedanta? Adhyasa is superimposition. What is Adhyasa? In simple words, it is defined as Anatmani Atma Buddhi. That is called as Adhyasa. To think of the not self as the self. So to think of this body, mind, intellect as Aham is Adhyasa. To think of this wrong notion that I am Jiva is Adhyasa. To think that the world is real is Adhyasa. This is in technical terms in Vedanta. The word superimposition has simpler other meanings and applications also. To think that Rasagulla has happiness, that is called Adhyasa. To think that that particular phone, now new phone will come, Apple 17 Max Pro, that has happiness is Adhyasa. Like that, the mind imagines. Does the product say happiness is in me? Product is not saying that. We are superimposing. That's why they call it window shopping. Window shopping means what? You are supposed to only see from the window. But when I see from the window, my mind will do what? Project happiness, adhyasa. Then one thinks, without this I can't be happy, I must have it. So that is called adhyasa, superimposing. And the same thing after some time, on a dissolution, saying, it is not there in this, happiness is not in this. So, what Vedanta methodology is, we have adhyasa as of now. What does Vedanta do? The methodology of Vedanta is adhyaropa. This is called deliberate superimposition. What is deliberate superimposition? Already there is a superimposition. On that I superimpose something else. How? So, so a simple example if we give, after eating food, the plate is kept in the sink. Now it is dirty. I need to wash it. So what will I do? Take some soap, add. What will that soap do? It will add to that dirt or it will cleanse it? The purpose of adding that soap is to cleanse it. And once I have scrubbed that plate properly with that soap, then what will I do? Rinse. Wash it. Now what will happen? The water will take away both the dirt of the food, the plate also, as well as the soap. So this is what one does is apavada, is negation. This is the methodology of Vedanta. Adhyasa, adhyaropa, apavada. So when we say that I am not this body, mind and intellect, that is negation. What is the adhyaropa? This which I am thinking of myself as I am this body, mind, intellect, that is adhyasa. Then Vedanta says, no, this is panchakosha. There are 5 layers of this personality. You are not these. You are the truth which is covered by this. Can truth be really covered? Not possible. Can the sun be really covered by the clouds? It's not possible. But if I am on the earth and then from earth I am seeing the sun, then it appears as though the cloud is covering. Now, if I go in the flight, then I see I am above the clouds, then the sun is very clear, there is no covering. But from the earth it appears covered. So in the same way, the Panchakosha appears to cover the self, but self cannot be actually covered. But then one will deliberately superimpose, saying that this is Panchakosha, this is, the personality layers are given out. Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. So then one will say, okay, this is Panchakosha, this is separate. And finally one will say, you are not the Panchakosha, you are not this body, mind, intellect, you are none of this. Who are you? Satchidananda Swarupa. Even those words Satchidananda are one way of, or they are only pointers. One has to drop even those, one has to negate even that. Final truth is not describable. So using a deliberate superimposition, the bondage is destroyed, removed. The negation is like the water, adhyaropa is like the soap, and adhyasa is like the plate which is dirty or the cloth which is dirty. Now this is the sadhana. In Vivekachoodamani, this portion which is coming now is telling us about how to do the nididhyasan, steady contemplation, so that this adhyasa can be negated. For that one should have known, the clarity must be there. That's why, since you are study group members, I chose this portion, because you already know what is the Atma, what is the Anatma, what is Panchakosha, what are the three states. What are the three states of consciousness? Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. Waking, dream and deep sleep. And beyond these three is which state? Turiya Avastha. Turiya is not actually fourth state as a separate state. It is the basis of all the three. But it is called Turiya, meaning none of the three experiences ever touch that state. Three bodies are what? Sthula, Sukshma and Karana Sharira. And they are Sharira. So Sharira means what? That which is perishable. Shiryamanatva Shariraha. That which is destructible, perishable by itself. And I am not these. So once this clarity is there, then one has to reflect on this and then come to realize the truth through nididhyasan. Hence this portion says Swadhyasapanayam Kuru. Now before I go into this, little more detail, let us see. In our life, when we do karmas, what do we get? Karma phala. So karma phala, okay, let us do from here. Karma phala. Karma phala is caused by karma. Karma is caused by karma is caused by action. No. The cause of karma is what? Immediate cause I am asking, not vasana is the later cause. Before desire. Are action is the karma. Thought, vichar. BMI chart of Gurudev, how many of you are familiar with? Body, mind, intellect chart. Logic of Spirituality book that has a DVD also. Gurudev's talk, introductory talk on the Gita. You should memorize that. Memorize in the sense you should be thorough with that BMI chart. Concepts of BMI chart, if I know thoroughly, Vedanta, I have a very strong foundation. In that, Gurudev so clearly says how the vasanas will manifest. So the thought of, so the karma is because of vichar. Vichar is because of desire. Ichha. And Ichha is because of Vasana. Karma phala strengthens Vasana. You can write it properly. This is written in a different way, but you can bring this here and make it proper. So, what happens? Vasana, which is unmanifest, leads to leads to ichha in the buddhi, desire in the intellect, which manifests as thoughts and emotions at the mind level, which manifests as karma at the body level. And this karma gives rise to karma phala. Karma phala is temporary or permanent? Karma phala is permanent. कर्म फल परमानेंट होता तो बहुत अच्छा इजी मिल गया हमको परमानेंट ही हम ढूंढ रहे हैं ना तो मिल गया बट इट कांट बी परमानेंट व्हाई बिकॉज इट इज क्रिएटेड इन टाइम इट इज एन इफेक्ट एंड व्हाट इज क्रिएटेड इन टाइम व्हाट इज एन इफेक्ट विल पेरिश so that karma phala creates further vasana because it is limited. This cycle of desire, thought, action, result, further adding to my vasana impression, this is what we call as the karma cycle. This is karma chakra. This karma chakra leads to what? Janma, Jivan, Mrityu, and again Janma. So this is a vicious cycle. This is Janma chakra. This is what we call as samsara. Two wheels. One is the wheel of karma, one is the wheel of birth and death. Now important point is to understand this, that why does this vasana arise? Ignorance is the ultimate cause. There are two more steps before that. Avidya is the ultimate cause, no doubt, but we have to know the steps before that. Vasana is created because of sin, what we are seeing. No, that can create some desire in my mind. So if I see something nice, I get tempted, I want that. So that is creating a desire in my mind. Everything I see doesn't create a desire. Only certain things which are as per my vasana, then desire will come for it. Rag dvesha is at the mind level. Attachment. Samskar, when you strengthen it, becomes a vasana. Sanchit karma is the total bank of your karma, because of which some portion is ready to give results, so you take a birth. That is a prarabdha karma. So vasana arises because of what? Vasana arises actually because of apurnata, the feeling of incompleteness. If feeling of incompleteness is not there, vasana will not arise. In the deep sleep, does vasana arise? Why? Because incompleteness is not felt. When you eat full properly, there is no space to add anything more. Then does one feel, kuch kha lo? No, I've eaten full. The moment I spend some time, 2-3 hours are over after food, now I start feeling hungry. Now I want something. Why? Because now I'm hungry. Now I want. So when there is apurnata, then there will be a feeling that I must become purna. When I feel finite, then I want to become infinite. Why do I feel finite? Why is there apurnata? Jiva bhav. Why is that jiva bhav there? 3 different doshas are balanced. वो तो आयुर्वेद आ गया सडनली इसमें. वात पित्त कफ. हम हेल्थ की बात तो नहीं कर रहे हैं इसमें. We are not happy, but that's the question. Why? Why are we not happy? Why is that Jiva Bhav there? Lack of knowledge is correct, one part. That is avidya. But one more thing between this avidya and apurnata. Separateness, not my original state. Those answers are technically correct, but one missing link is there in between. So tell me, when does one feel apurna? You do avasthatraya vivek, you will understand. Do I feel apurna in the waking state? Yes or no? Do I feel apurna in the dream state? Consciously, I don't feel apurna in the dream state, no doubt. But in the dream also, there is a apurnata is there. Na? One is chasing something, one is experiencing something going on. In deep sleep, do I feel apurna? So now why? Why did I feel apurna in the waking and dream, and why do I not feel apurna in the deep sleep? Because the mind is dormant in the deep sleep. Am I aware of the body in deep sleep? No. So whenever I identify with the incomplete, then I feel incomplete. When I don't identify with the incomplete, I don't feel incomplete. So this Dehatma Bhav is the cause of apurnata. To think of myself as this Deha, because this Deha is limited, no, it is finite. Body is finite, thoughts are finite, emotions are finite, they all are finite. The moment I identify with these which are finite, then what will happen? I feel incomplete. In deep sleep, I am not identified with the BMI, so I don't feel incomplete. Because the BMI has become dormant. But it is not a state of realization, obviously. Why? Because the vasana is there, it is dormant. The avidya is there. Only the BMI is not active. But the deep sleep is very important to make me understand that first of all, I am not the BMI. And second, whenever I identify with the BMI, then only I feel incomplete. So the sorrow is not because of BMI. Sorrow is because of false identification. This Dehatma Bhav is mithya. That is wrong. Not wrong in the sense that is illusory. It is not real. The whole BMI itself is not real. So the issue is not BMI. The issue is false identification. Thinking of myself as the BMI. That is the problem. And that is called as adhyasa. So this is the main adhyasa is this. This is the false notion. Avidya and Dehatma Bhav. Till these three are not removed, no, bondage will not go. Why? Because this is the root cause. What will remove avidya? Only vidya can remove avidya. Atma Bodh says, Vidyam nihanti eva. Vidya avidyam nihanti eva. Tejas timira sanghavat. Like how the darkness is removed by what? Light. Any amount of action, can it remove darkness? Gurudev used to give that example. There one queen was going in the forest and suddenly she saw a lot of people working very hard in one cave. So she went there and she asked, what are you doing? They are having, shovels in their hand and they are doing. Saying, what are you doing? Saying, we are trying to empty darkness from this cave. She was laughing inside. She was like, what? Yeah, how many days have you been trying? Yeah, we have been trying for many years now. The darkness is not going. She said, years of darkness I can remove in 1 second. How? She said, you just light a lamp and bring. The moment she lit the lamp, all darkness gone. How much one does work in the world, what will one get with work? Karma will only bring karma phala, which is temporary. It cannot remove this adhyasa. Adhyasa is the main cause. This avidya, the dehatma bhav is the root cause of my sorrow. Today when one feels sorrow, when one feels miserable, then what does one want to do? Swamiji, I am going to Ananda Spa. मजा करो. एंड वहां पे वेदांत भी सिखाते हैं. वाह. So I go to some spa, I travel somewhere, I eat something, I watch something. That is only giving temporary relief. It will not give cure. The cure will come from where? From this. Avidya has to be removed. And avidya is removed by only jnanam. So in Vivekachoodamani, we have this portion which will speak about this. This adhyasa has to be destroyed. This avidya has to be destroyed fully. And dehatma bhava has to go. Do you have the printout or any material? So take the first verse in this, that is verse number 277. And the superimposition, that portion which is there, no? In that the first verse is there. Swatmanye sada sthitva mano nashyati yoginaha वासनानां क्षयश्चातः स्वाध्यासापनयं कुरु. Swatmani eva sada sthitva, abiding in the self alone. This avidya, when it is the root cause, then to remove that, what is the solution? Is only knowledge. And this knowledge of the self is not the knowledge which is verbal knowledge, it is intuitive realization. So this is the what we call the ignorance cycle. So this ignorance of the self has to go. Swatmani eva sada sthitva. I have to operate from it as I am Brahman, I am this infinite consciousness. Swatmani eva sada sthitva. Mano nashyati yoginaha. The mano nasha has to happen. Mano nashyati yoginaha does not mean that I will become mad. Oh, my mind will get destroyed. Mano nashyati meaning this false notion that I am the body, mind, intellect, that will get destroyed. What we have written here, dehatma bhav, this false identification, that will go. How that will go? If I just keep saying I am not the mind, I am not the mind, I am not the mind, will it go? No. Because no, so to get the knowledge I have to destroy this. To get this clarity that I am this body, mind, I am this self, I am not the body, mind, intellect, I have to destroy the false identification. No. If I hold on to this BMI and I say I am Atma, how will it go? I will not get the knowledge of the self. So to get the knowledge of the self, Swatmani eva sadasthitva, mano nashyati, the false identification has to go. How will false identification go? If I simply keep saying that, okay, I am not the body, I am not the body, in that my mind is not able to abide. Tomorrow morning you will experience literally when we do meditation. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. So when I say Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham, I am Brahman, I am Chidananda Rupa Shiva Shiva. After 2 seconds, the mind will go from Shivoham to Shiv Sagar restaurant. From there to some nice faluda. From there to I am putting on weight. From there to what my spouse was saying. From there to what are you doing? Chidananda Rupa. It doesn't stay on that, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am Brahman. It doesn't stay on that. Why? Because so many vasanas are there. So the third step he says is what? Vasananam kshayaschataha. You destroy these vasanas. Vasana kshaya has to happen. If vasana kshaya doesn't happen, this apurnata will not go, false identification will not go, incompleteness will not go. And by doing these 3, swadhyasapanayam kuru. Destroy your false identification or superimposition is what Shankaracharya ji is saying. So this much introduction we have done for today. More of this we will take up in our next class. What we have done right now, clear? Any confusion? Any questions? Right. We have question answer session also at some point in the camp. So if you have any, you can ask that time also. But please reflect on this, think about this cycle more and get more clarity. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.